Righty then, Manchester United against Tottenham on Sunday. We're 11th, they are 10th, and it is a massive game for both sides. We're only 5 games in, but winning this probably doesn't do anything, if I'm being completely honest with you. It could kickstart a good run for either side, but we're both in some pretty horrendous form at the moment. They're just not winning away games, and we've got identical records coming into this. 2 wins, 2 losses, 1 draw. We both played midweek in the Europa. They played Qarabag on Thursday. We played Twente Wednesday night, obviously. And they're in the second season of this Postecoglou contract or project, where he's had a lot of praise because it started off so well. But towards the back end of last season, anyone was going getting points off them. In the post kind of Conte Mourinho dressing room, it sort of got this energy and vibe of being a more positive, forward-thinking coach. But the wheels are already starting to come off. I know it's early doors, but people are starting to look into some of his signings and be like, wait. Get 65 million on Dominic Solanke. Which is an absolutely valid question, I think. A win here would really help them. And I think it's almost kind of like a no-win situation for United. You should beat Spurs. Their away form's horrendous. But you're probably not going to get any... you might get credit for beating Spurs, because I think there's far too many casual pundits out there that'll be like, they've got this perception of Ange being this top manager. So they'll be like, that's a really good win for United. But I actually expect us to beat them, because I think they're shit. And I think metrically United are looking a little bit more positive, at least. Now, what they do is they look to hold a relentless kind of goal-orientated philosophy. They set up in a 4-3-3. It gives them cover across the pitch to try and materialise Postecoglou's sort of philosophy. On the ball, it looks a bit more like a 4-2-3-1. You'll see Maddison roaming around higher, while playing a little bit kind of off the left. And when it works, Tottenham are very, very good at disrupting opposition defensive shape. They occupy central areas. You'll see inverted fullbacks, giving them a bit of a numerical overload. And they prioritise things like playing out. And traditionally, when you're passing it out, they'll see options all around the ball and, trying to come short for him and stuff. There's triangles everywhere. And you can see the sort of importance of that third man run. He seems to prioritise that. It really can't be understated in terms of how Tottenham build out. There'll be a couple of players looking to try and get some momentum going, and then there'll be someone spinning out somewhere to try and find a little bit of space. They want to advance play quickly. They want to move through their opponent. They won't typically go over the top. And you would say someone like a Pedro Porro is probably going to be the key man in this Spurs team. Very proficient in inverting, and it's made him a bit of a danger, actually. He's always kind of looking to get on the ball. Ange seems to have given him the license to get forward and cause problems in the final third. And I think the main takeaway here for about Spurs is they're going to want to disrupt the shape that the opponents are going to sit in. You'll see that with how they'd sort of deploy their number 8s. They'll often go cover wide areas in order to offer a little bit of protection for those constantly moving and deployable fullbacks. When the 8s drop wide, what's tended to work for them is the opposition midfielder that was marking those 8s quite often goes and follows them because they don't want to leave them in space. And that opens up for space in the centre then for the likes of Porro and Maddison. So overall, he's encouraging people to rotate. He's encouraging people to try and exploit space, and he's encouraging movement. And when it works real nice. But it does have the tendency to crumble. Now, when you see players roaming around and they pop up in sort of untraditional areas to their position, it makes the tactics seem real fluid. But actually, there's a lot more structure and rigidity to them. It's just because they're moving people into sort of untraditional areas. The signing of Solanke, apart from his price, is probably going to work out for them. He's the first player that you could sort of identify as an attempt at trying to replace Harry Kane. Obviously, two different strikers, obviously two different levels of ability, but he is actually at number 9, and I think he kind of adds to what they're trying to do in terms of the shape and that. In the final third, they're going to look to try and create space across the pitch. The wingers will stay wide, and you'll see sort of half-space runs coming from midfield. And that's where Maddison excels. And it's not just limited to him. You'll get the fullbacks making this run, and they will look to overload with underlaps, if that makes sense, into sort of the half space. The creation of them chances then keeps things safe using those areas if the attack breaks down. It makes it dangerous if the pass through the half space comes off, and that's the main danger to worry about when you're playing against Spurs. Last season, they beat us quite comfortably with a 2-0 victory at home. We drew 2-2 at Old Trafford, and although things aren't working entirely properly for Spurs at the moment, you can't underestimate them, because he's going to bring a decent philosophy. Now, I think we'll beat them because I think they're in poor form, but you can't underestimate them. They're not shit, but they're not in good form. Star man for them, I think Son is their best player. I think he's absolutely sensational. Stepped up after Harry Kane's departure and has actually been a really good captain for them. He can create, he can score. His stats are an absolute joke. Won the 2022 Golden Boot alongside Mo Salah and became the first Asian player to score 100 Premier League goals back in 2023. He's also Tottenham's 5th highest scorer and all-time leader in assists. Like, the stats for Son are an absolute disgrace. In terms of United, the 11 that I would like to go for in this one, this might be the sort of game where Ugarte finds himself straight onto the team sheet. But it'd be very interesting to see how the midfield shapes up around him. Now, defence, I think, is absolutely picking itself at the moment. I think your Onana, Mazraoui, who's been sensational, De Ligt back in the side alongside Martinez and Dalot at left back. I put Ugarte in. I would like to see Casemiro and Eriksen. I think it'll be Mainu and Bruno, though. I would like to see Casemiro and Eriksen. I wouldn't be surprised if it's Eriksen and Bruno. But I'd like to see Casemiro and Eriksen because I think they would give you robust defending, good possession, forward thinking, with a little bit of control. I think while Ugarte is settling in, I think him and Bruno just got a little bit too much low quality in their passing to have both of them in the team at the same time. I think Ugarte will settle in once he settles into the players around him, and you'll see his pass completions rise. He's just got to get used to his teammates first. Bruno's a little bit too scattergun. Now, this game might work because I do expect it to be quite a transitional game against Spurs, but I would like to see United sort of build on the control, and that's why I would go with Casemiro and Eriksen, but I think it'll be Mainu and Bruno. In the forward line, Ahmad, Xerxes and Marcus Rashford. I really liked the bravery that Xerxes and Rashford were playing with against Twente, and they were very unlucky not to come away with some serious contributions from both of them. With Marcus, he's going to have lots of space to take advantage of. He looks like he's confident at the moment, and a confident Marcus is a dangerous Marcus. Hopefully that continues in this one. I can see him getting on the score sheet, and I think if he could get the winner here, it could hopefully stick us on a decent run because we've got a bit of a tricky run coming up. Spurs, potentially like ourselves, although I think the underlying performances are better with United. They are completely devoid of confidence. And Rashford, up against an unconfident defence, if it's Udogie or Porro, he could absolutely tear him a new one. And I think that's where United have to really focus this. Now for this game on Sunday, Hollywoodbets has got another exciting bet for the big clash at Old Trafford. Can United secure a crucial victory in this game against Spurs? Well, this is my bet for this weekend. I'm going to go with Maddison to have one shot on target in 90 minutes, Xerxes to have one shot on target in 90 minutes, Lissandro Martinez to be carded, Christian Romero to be carded, over 8.5 corners, over 2.5 goals, and both teams to score. Now that's been boosted from 22 to 1 to 26 to 1. So if you placed a £10 bet and it wins, you'll get 270 quid back. Now to claim your bet boost, it's easy. All you got to do is click the link in the description. And if you're new to Hollywoodbets, you can sign up and take advantage of this new customer offer. As I said, link for that is in the description. Plus Hollywoodbets has got other exciting bonuses available for the weekend fixtures. So make sure you go and check those out. Odds are subject to change. You must be over 18 to participate, and it can be unpredictable, so it's certainly no promise of winning. If you want more help on responsible gaming, please visit begambleaware.org. Again, this bet is exclusively brought to you by Hollywoodbets. Click the link below and feel free to share your own predictions in the comments below. And then how do you beat this Tottenham side then? If they're struggling for form and they're struggling for confidence, and it's going to be a transitional game where they're going to look to overload, we're going to look to overload, how do we beat them? Well, I actually think this Tottenham side struggle keeping their composure a little bit. So I think if we keep ours, and that's kind of why I wanted to see, and I know you're saying, didn't you just pick Casemiro? With him not being the sole defensive responsibility, I think you get a composed Casemiro. And I also think he's been well rested, so I think that helps. That's why I want to see Erik's Casemiro guy. I think that brings a little bit more control. We don't need chaos in this game. Ange has recently majorly criticised Tottenham's lapses in concentration, and the attempts of keeping things fluid can expose a lot of structural vulnerabilities. And if they're not on it, they can get turned over quite badly. I think Joshua Xerxes could have some serious implications on the Tottenham defence because of the amount of times they're going to leave him 1v1, and he only needs a little bit of a gap, and he is absolutely due a goal, which I think he's going to get against Tottenham as well. And then wing play. If Porro and Udogie are inverting, that will give Manchester United space to exploit, and the likes of Rashford or Garnacho or Ahmad will find themselves with a lot of time and a lot of space. And then it's, can United identify those passes quickly, get them to the front foot so we can actually penetrate and go make something happen. I feel confident for this one. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below, and I'll see you in the next one. Laters. Hey, thank you for watching the video. If you are new around these parts, then don't forget to subscribe. My channel is proudly supported by my community on Patreon. If you'd like to get a little bit of extra content, a Discord group, meetups, five-a-side games, weekly podcasts, behind the scenes, and even an occasional bit of transfer news as and when I get it, then for the price of a pint, you can show your appreciation for the content that we make and get some goodies for doing so as well. Check the link in the description or click the button right here. You'll also find all of my socials here too if you want to follow me on any of those platforms. Nice one.